Black Creek Equine Learning Center.
Alright, we keep that horse in that area. See the tail come out? Now, what was the story on this horse?
When I got her, you mean?
Yeah, they're going to put it down.
The guy just told me he's got some serious issues. He spent a little money on her, he's not going to spend more on because he's scared of her. And I just needed something to drive while one of my others was on men, so she was cheap and I could afford her, so I said I'm going to give her a try. I kind of like her head.
Okay.
And so I give her a try.
Okay. So the guy that owned her was afraid of her?
Well, yeah, I mean, just the way she acted.
And he's thinking about putting her down?
Well, you're just going to put her in the kill pen.
Put her in the kill pen, okay.
I don't know if you want that on there or not.
Okay.
Some people don't like kill pens.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll do her teeth and we'll check her again. Now, this is after dentistry. No, we couldn't have done that before. Hello again, my name's Tom Howell. Here at Black Creek Equine Learning Center, and you just seen 2 horses, and each one of those horses were done unsedated, and you got to see them change. That goes to show that what you do in the mouth has a direct effect on the body. Matter of fact, it has an effect on every square inch of that horse's body, inside and out. And that's why balance is so key, so important. And I know the medical community, our veterinarians, they want to maintain the law, not only for financial reasons. I think it's a pride issue. And they're going to tell you it's a medical issue, that they really need to be there because of the well-being of the horse. And one of the major issues they're going to talk to you about is periodontal. Well, periodontal is created by, the root cause is created by imbalance. Whenever the mouth is imbalanced, you're putting more pressure on one tooth than you do another. Well, here's a good example of periodontal, right here. And you can see the upper tooth is pushing here, created a gap. The upper tooth is pushing here, created a gap, and it does the same here. Now, food, grass and hay and such, gets in between there, then it ferments, And now you have a bacteria, and now you have something there that's going to be deteriorating the soft tissue. And the veterinarians think they need to be there. Well, and that, but the truth of the matter is, when you go in this horse's mouth and you don't understand balance, you're creating this. And this is one of the things that's so foreign to your veterinarians. I know they talk balance. It's pretty much a fad. It's a pretty good selling point. But true full range of balance motion is not achieved if you cannot understand this whole thing, the whole concept behind the whole thing, and not only just understand it, be able to do it. Not only can you have to talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. That horse depends on you, and so does the owner, and the lives of anyone around that horse. This isn't just a health issue for just the horse. It's also a public safety issue for this horse being in public and being around other people. And if you don't understand this, then you're really contributing to it. There's an old saying, if you're not part of the solution, then you're probably part of the problem. And let me back up here a little bit. Whenever the human chiropractors were coming on board and understanding the human body and alignment of all the joints and how they work and how to manipulate this and solve a lot of problems that people were facing. Well, your human medical community determined that they were practicing human medicine and they're breaking the law. And they've done everything in their power to stop chiropractors. So chiropractors was like working under the radar, like a lot of your lay dentists are doing now and have been for a while. But finally, what we were facing with then, if you went to a human doctor about your, let's say you had a back problem, lower back problem, you went to your lower doctor, well, by him not understanding chiropractic and massage therapy and such, you'd have to walk out of there with pins, rods, and bolts and nuts in your back. And don't get me wrong, I'm not down in doctors. This is just a phase that they went through. And so people had to break the law that they had in place in order for people to get fixed. But eventually the doctors realized that these chiropractors were not the problem. They were a big part of the solution in getting people proper help. Because instead of having nuts and bolts in your back, couple 2 or 3 trips to your chiropractor and everything's good again. So the doctors become to realize, I know they're not going to say that, but they become to realize the problem didn't lie with the chiropractor. It lied within them. Because what they were doing with their laws to stop the chiropractors was a problem. They were actually stopping people from getting help that the medical community really couldn't provide. They didn't have this understanding, but they knew it worked. And because people who were using chiropractors was telling them so. Now, us lay people out here, us dentists, it's the same thing we're going through right now. Your veterinarian community think that we're the problem, and we're not. We are a major contributor as the solution, because over 90% of all advancements that's been made in equine dentistry has been made by lay people, not your veterinarian community. Where your veterinarian community come in with great knowledge of equine dentistry is they went to the human dentist and they learned periodontal, they learned fillings, open chambers, root canals. They learned that and they're good at it. They're good at it. But they didn't learn balance because these aren't human teeth. The horse, the whole action of this jaw, the whole mechanics of the whole thing is completely different. But both have to have a balance. Full range of balance motion. Humans have to have it, and your horse has to have it. But this is a real foreign subject for your veterinarian community, even your human veterinarians. And to prove my point is, what happens whenever your human dentist runs into issues that he doesn't understand? I mean, your human dentist, what's he going to do for you? He's going to go in there, clean your teeth. He's going to do fillings. He's going to be doing root canals and things of that nature. But when it comes to balance, he's going to send you on to the orthodontist, the person who is the specialist in that area. Everybody should know their limitations. Okay, now, that's what we lay dentists are. Now, I ain't saying all lay dentists. But we understand balance, just like that orthodontist, a human orthodontist. We know how to balance this thing. We know that we don't have to grind every tooth in that horse's head. We know we do not have to be evasive to that horse. And we also know very, very seldom does that horse ever have to be sedated. And periodontal can be prevented by balance. Imbalance is what created it to begin with. And we're preventive, not creative. And but there's another part of that that I'd like for everyone to understand. We're all about the horse. Your veterinarians is about the medical end of it. Us lay people are about the performance end of it. It's about motion. The only reason you have your horse is because of motion. His ability to go forward, turn left, right, round up and get under himself. Lead changes. Well, that ain't medical. That's motion. That's why you bought him. Well, that's what we, as lay people, that's our area. This is what we know and understand is motion and the things that affect it. And this here is the #1 contributor, is getting this balance, full range of balance motion. And because if you don't, not only are you creating periodontal, you're going to see the performance of that horse be compromised. You're also going to see horses that are going to be diagnosed as diseases and injuries because of the imbalance is created by man, or lack of man being there. And a lot of the horses lost their lives. A lot of people have been hurt by this and even killed by this. And it's a safety issue. It's definitely a safety issue. And I would hate to think that I'd done something in that horse's mouth that got some little kid hurt or killed, or anyone. And so we're preventive of that. And we need to take responsibility, not just the veterinarians, lay people, horse owners, and everyone. Everybody needs to take responsibility at this. Take ownership. If we're not going to be, don't want to be a part of the problem, we need to be part of the solution. What we do is a specialty. And it's all different than your traditional veterinarian equine dentistry. It's completely different. And it should be separate. But most of all, it should be the owner's choice. The owner knows if he has a motion issue or that they have a medical issue. And you call a layperson to come and do the dental work on your horse. I don't know a single lay dentist that wants to pull teeth. I don't know a single layperson who wants to do fillings, root canals, or trying to fix any kind of diseases or anything, because that's not what we're about. We know that should go to the veterinarian. He's trained for those things, not us. And so we're not going to go there. And but that veterinarian doesn't have to be there whenever the layperson's working, and the owner shouldn't have to pay for that veterinarian to be there because he's contributing nothing to balance, and that's why the people called us for is balance. But while we're there, if we see something that needs to be addressed by the veterinarian, we're going to tell that owner that about what we see and to contact their veterinarian. So we're part of the solution. We're not the enemy here. And it's about helping that horse and helping the owners and the well-being of the horse and the well-being of the anyone who is around the horse. So equine dentistry is not equine dentistry. We're not all doing the same thing, and the only difference between each one of us is our price. What we do is all different from what the veterinarians do. And I think it should be treated as such. But they have a law in place that says only they can do that, or you have to have a veterinarian there. Well, if he doesn't have this understanding, why is he there? If the horse isn't going to be sedated, why you have to pay for somebody to be there? They really don't even understand what you're doing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking away from the veterinarian. I'm really not. That's not my intent. I just think that lay people, what we do is a specialty. It's all separate. And just because you have a degree in veterinary medicine, you're a licensed veterinary medicine, gives you the sole right to work on something you really have no training and understanding in. That's like, I have a license to drive my truck. And would you want to fly an airplane with me? I wouldn't even fly an airplane with me. But really, that's what they're asking us to do. They're asking us to let their license as a veterinary medicine give them the right to do something they don't really have an understanding in. And I don't think that's fair to the owner, and definitely not fair to the horse or anyone around it. And but that's just like the horses you seen, the two horses you just seen in this video. What if you got around those horses? What if one of your children touched that horse? They could have easily got killed or severely injured. And nobody wants that. And we prevent that, as you've seen. Unsedated. Both those horses totally unsedated, and it only took 5 minutes to do each one of them. And the video I had before, you heard the lady's, the owner, her testimony and everything. What if a kid had got around that horse? She had to jump off the horse. She couldn't ride it. But that was the little kid's horse. So anyway, I think it's only right that we give equine dentistry back to the owners. If they want that vet to come in and do their horses, they have a right to do so. But if they want a lay person to come in there, they have a right to do so. And I don't think they should have to pay for something they're not getting. And I'd like to point out another thing. If you to listen to the the veterinarians and everything they have out here is how the lay dentists are bad, they're hurting horses and everything. Look around in your area and see how many veterinarians are using lay people as their dentist. And why aren't they, the veterinarians, using veterinarian dentists? Hello? And what it boils down to, what they're saying doesn't agree with what they're doing. And the reason it's that way is because the vast majority of your veterinarians really know the truth behind the whole thing. Because they have a customer base that they have to satisfy in order to stay in business. So why are they using lay people to do the dental work instead of veterinarians? Something to think about, ain't it? And, but anyway, I guess I've said about everything I need to say today. And I hope everyone kind of gets behind this and get this law changed for the betterment of the horse, safety of the people and the owners rights, and let these lay people do what they're trained to do without fear of going to jail, because we are part of the solution. We're not the problem that you're led to believe. And the veterinarian community, I'm sure, once they would sit down and think about this, they're going to realize that what we're saying here is the absolute truth. This law we have in that the veterinarians are using is the problem. It's not the lay dentist. This law is keeping people from who really understand balance from working on your horses. Myself, the vast majority of my work is out of state because Indiana has this law in. It's against the law for me to work in my own state, and I pay taxes here. And so anyway, other states are getting this benefit. My own neighbors and my own people here in my own state, they're getting denied this because of this law. We have people in Indiana that are subject to getting hurt because they're denied this. And I think it's time to change this. Not just in Indiana. I think it needs to be changed in every state in the United States. I own horses myself, and I don't want to give up my right to my horses. They're my responsibility, and I accept it. And but you got to give me the right to choose. To hold me 100% responsible, then you have to give. If you're going to hold me for responsible, then you have to give me some authority, and that is my choice. And I'm not willing to give it away to a veterinarian or anyone else. And honestly, if somebody thinks they have more say-so about my horse than I do, I think they need to show up my barns a little bit higher. So I stole that off of someone else, but it's true. So anyway, I guess that's it. And you have a good day, and please get behind this. We need to get this taken care of. It's very, very important, because they're going to take your rights away from you, and they get done with this, they're just going to take more rights away from you. It's got to stop somewhere. Let's make it now. That horse depends on it. Oh, another thing. If the veterinarians, once they get to a point, they're going to have an accredited program. Well, in order to have an accredited program, it means they have to set a standard. And what that means is, anyone doing equine dentistry has to do it according to that standard. In other words, you have to do it this way every time. Now, if balance is not part of that equation, that standard is going to damage a lot of horses. a lot of horses. And anyone who goes in and does anything other than the standard, now you're looking at what they call malpractice. And I would like to see all this change before we even get to that point. And because it's going to be really tough to change it once they get that standard in. And they're going to be producing veterinarians that's going to be doing just exactly what that standard is, and they'll fight for it. And which your lay dentists who understand balance knows that day will be devastating for the horse and the owners. That's going to be a real bad day for the horse. And anyway, please help yourself, your horse, and the other people who have horses, and the safety of anyone around them. Let's get these laws changed and take your rights back that you have with your horse. And so anyway, you have a good day.
Thank you for watching. For more information, call 765-401-6318. Thank you again from all of us at Black Creek Equine Learning Center.
Dentistry Productions.